Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Ultima 6, The False Prophet. We're continuing our exploration of the Swamp Cave. Let's get back to it. So like I said, up until recently Iolo was doing very well in terms of his accuracy, but all of a sudden he seems to be having some problems. It's become kind of a running gag in the Ultima series, at least among some Ultima fans, that Iolo has questionable luck with his accuracy, at least when it comes to certain weapons. There's a certain crossbow that you can find in some of the Ultima games known as the triple crossbow, which allows Iolo to fire 3 bolts at once in a spread pattern. It's also a running gag in the Ultima series that you never hand this to Iolo because he will immediately use it to shoot the avatar in the back. Iolo is your own worst enemy. The thing is, Iolo isn't actually any less accurate than any of the other characters. The only downside is when the other characters swing and miss an enemy, it just says, you missed. When Iolo misses, well, that bolt can actually go and hit somebody else. And that's the downside of ranged weapons in the Ultima games. They can hit both friend and foe alike. There is friendly fire. Alright, there's a ladder leading down to level 4, which we will take in just a moment. And now we've run into an unexpected foe down here in the dungeon, a rabbit. Perhaps it's friendly. Let's not go looking for trouble unless it finds us first. Well, the rabbit seems to be ignoring us and minding its own business. I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me at this point to run into an army of, rabid rabbits. Alright, well, there's nothing down here. We'll tempt this rabbit one last time to see if it attacks us, and no, it hasn't, so we'll leave it alone. The alligators are back. And we're once again out of arrows. Unfortunately, Iolo, before he could level up, ran out of arrows, but he's getting close. Let's very quickly hand this sword over to him. We'll let him use the sword for just a moment or two, just so we can finish up what he was doing. He's not normally a frontline fighter like this, but I think his strength and dexterity are high enough that he should be able to take out these types of enemies. And we'll keep an eye on his hit points just in case as he does this. He's very close, only a couple more enemies and we should have him to level 6. Alright, so instead of going ahead and taking that ladder downwards, I'm heading just a little further north. I'm going to have the entire party attack this sea serpent real quickly. There we go. I don't trust Iolo's luck in terms of killing a sea serpent. But another alligator should be just up to speed here. Alright, we're only 8 experience away. That's just one slime. If we could find one slime, Iolo will be able to get level 6. And there's another ladder. That ladder's actually leading upwards, so that's not where we want to go. Alright, let's head back to that ladder leading downwards. And we'll go on to level 4, the final level of the Swamp Cave. As you can see, my party makes very quick work of those sea serpents. Alright, another torch burned out, so let's use another one. We are very quickly running out of torches at this rate. Looks like some alligators are getting in a fight, perhaps with each other. Ah, looks like we've interrupted something here. YOLO, go ahead and take one of them out, so you can get your level up here. YOLO now has enough for level 6. Fantastic. Alright, so moving on, Leona will be our next project. She needs to get to level 4, which is 400 experience points. Or we could get her all the way up to 800 to give her level 5. It seems like that might be worth it. Let's get her up 2 levels, and then we'll move on to Leodon. Now she's going to have a little bit harder time killing these enemies because her level is lower. Her strength and dexterity are already at lower levels. She's not going to do as much damage, and she's not going to be able to hit as often. But because we don't need to get her that much higher, she shouldn't have too much trouble getting there quickly. She is equipped with a sword, which isn't too bad. Swords are not a terrible weapon for her to use at this point in the game. Alright, let's find that ladder. There it is. And we're heading down to level 4 of the Swamp Cave. Alright, so we begin on this island here. And if you try to go down this way, down towards the right, if we make our way to the... Oh, there's some headlesses. Let's see how Leona does against them. And Leona is asleep. Well, that was a terrible idea. Let's begin combat. Actually, now that she's awake, I'm going to try to allow her to do as much as she can for as long as she can. Okay, it looks like these headlesses give almost 20 experience. That's not too bad. We should be able to, with just one more kill, get her to level 4, and then I'll allow the entire party to take over. There we go. I'm going to allow the whole party to take part here. Killing the headlesses and this gazer. And there we go. When gazers die, they leave behind insects. You can see a swarm right there, one insect swarm. Thou dost see insects. Watch what happens when I pass and allow the... Oh, never mind, Shamino killed it. Way to ruin my point, Shamino. But you see what happens when a lot of enemies get to go in between our turns? While those insects were alive, for the one turn that they were alive, you saw how many times they got to go before it was my turn again? Fighting with insects is like fighting with many, many enemies at once, because they get to go more than once per turn, and it makes any battle very tedious, like I said, because they're usually very hard to hit. We got very lucky this time. Alright, let's move the party here and just have them all stand behind me. I think some of these headlesses died on top of each other, so I just want to make sure that we're fighting all of them and not, so that when we search the corpses, we'll find all of the stuff. Most of the headlesses shouldn't be carrying too much other than clubs and cloth armor. But one of them had some gold. Yeah, one of them had gold. We'll have Dupree quickly grab that. Okay. Like I was saying, leaving this lake area where we just came into the level, if we keep heading down into the southeast, this direction, you're eventually going to find a corridor here. If you follow it all the way to the south, you will eventually come across what looks like a campsite. In fact, it is a campsite. And the body of a mage. Whoever this poor unfortunate was, well, it looks like this dungeon was too much for him. But if you search his body, you will find an invisibility ring, a regeneration ring, a protection ring, a flask of oil, a regular ring, and a storm cloak, in addition to various wands. He was very well equipped. The real prize of this dungeon, let's go ahead and move everybody out of the way here, is the storm cloak. Storm cloaks are incredibly useful items, especially if we're going to be going up against dragons. Storm cloaks negate magic. Now, the downside to a storm cloak is that it takes the place of your armor, so if you're fighting enemies that are going to physically attack you, well, you're going to have some problems. But it's a very, like I said, it's a very useful item to have. We're definitely keeping that handy, and that's going to come in very useful in our future endeavors trying to delve into the dungeons. Now, we've also got a few different types. Let's move this flask of oil over here. A few different rings. If you remember, Yola was holding onto all of our rings. There's a protection ring, a regeneration ring, which restores hit points as you wear it, and another invisibility ring. The more invisibility rings we have, the better, because later in the game there are going to be some parts we're going to want those for. In addition, there's some useful wands. Each of these wands are great long-range weapons. They usually have a limited number of charges, but while they still have charges left, they are very awesome long-range magical items. You can cast lightning bolts from afar at your foes, or fire spells. That right there makes a trip into the Swamp Cave worth it in and of itself, in addition to all the leveling up that we're able to do. Let's continue to explore. Oh, there's a giant scorpion. Let's see if Leona can handle this threat. Without getting poisoned, that is. And she's done quite well. I think I'm going to allow Leodon to take the next enemies that we find, to allow her to get up to level 4 as well. Using her two-hounded sword, she should be able to do some good damage to these enemies, even though her stats are pretty low. And success, and with just that, she got 400 experience. Alright, we're almost done with the southern edge here of the of level 4 of this dungeon. Level 4 is actually fairly large. It's larger than any of the other sections of the dungeon. Almost about the same size as level 1 is. Somewhere in the distance in either this dungeon or another one, there's children. As you can see, child poison, child critical, child critical, child critical. We'll allow Leodon to kill this one as well, just to firmly put her into level 4 territory. There we go. Now, Santre could do with some experience, so he can get up to level 5. He needs to get to 800 experience points to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish exploring the rest of the Swamp Cave. We're almost done with that. And then we're going to go ahead and head back out and level up our characters. I'm going to allow everybody to take out these sea serpents really quickly. Even the Avatar can get in on the fun this time. Now these stalactites kind of form natural barriers in this cave, forcing you to go certain ways. They kind of direct your movements. And unfortunately, Santre has been poisoned. Oops, I accidentally cast on the wrong person. Let's do it to the correct person this time. We'll continue on our way here. Yeah, as I was saying, there's this natural barrier here which keeps me from being able to go upwards here. And we're also being attacked from the south. I'm not sure who's attacking us. But they really seem to have it in for Leona. Oh, it's the respawn of that Gazer and the Headless again. Well, let's get back into it and we'll get more experience for it. That is quite a lot of Headless. I'm a little concerned. I think Leodon might have been charmed when I wasn't paying attention. I'm noticing that Leodon's facing the wrong way. Let's quickly go ahead and cast a Great Heal on her. Because I noticed that her hit points are very low. Yes, Leodon has been charmed. Let's quickly cast a spell Magic on her as well, so that she can join the fight against this Gazer. Meanwhile, we'll go ahead and attack the Headless. And now we have insects. As you can see, just one insect got to go 5 times on that turn. I'm not going to even bother looting those corpses. Let's just go ahead and get on with this further with this dungeon. What I do want to do is I want to quickly heal more of my party members here. Because while my party's been doing quite well against even seemingly strong enemies, all that combat does take its toll over time, especially because some of these lower level characters just don't have that high hit points to begin with. Once we level them up, they'll be in much better shape though. So like I said, unfortunately, this V-shaped stalactite formation is, well, blocking us from going up in that direction, so we have to go around. We have to go all the way around these stalactites here and head this way. Ah, and there's a Drake. And well, we made fairly quick work of that as well. And unfortunately, there's not really any way that I know of past that rock formation there. Even though I can definitely hear something thumping around down here. Alright, leaving all this behind, let's continue to head north. That's one less giant squid to trouble the brave adventurers who come into the swamp cave. Alright, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to the northern end of this cavern here so we can get past these waterways and onto the rest of the dungeon. We're almost to the end of it here. So there's two ways we can go. We can go left or right. If we head to the left here, across this bridge, we should come to, well, a nice little area here, a dead end, and there's not really anything to do down here. But if instead we go to the right, the cavern will continue to lead us up and around here. There we go. Looks like there's some giant rats. Those often carry the danger of poisoning, so let's try to kill them quickly. But I might as well allow Leona to take them out. They're not very strong enemies, and hey, every little bit of experience counts, right? Apparently the rats are also attacking each other at this time. And she's been poisoned. That's the danger with giant rats. They're not particularly dangerous, just from their attacks that they can cast, but they, from their attacks they use upon you. Their tiny teeth, but they do have poison. Alright, heading out into this larger area here. Another dead end here, and we'll continue upwards around this lake here. And once again, we're out of torches. Now, I don't believe we have any more torches at this point. Let's take a look. Ah, Santre has a few. But after that, I believe that's all we have, and so we're going to have to buy some more. After this dungeon's done, we're going to have to go ahead and head to the surface, head to the shops and resupply, buy more torches. We're also going to have to buy more ammunition for YOLO, as he is completely out. Alright, here comes another Reaper. And as I feared, he cast the dreaded insect spell. I took one step, and look at how many attacks I'm getting hit with before I can even move. And it's summoning more. This is why Reapers are horrifying. But I'm going to show you the way around this. Now, see, the problem is, when there are this many insects on the screen, for whatever reason, your party generally just has a really hard time hitting them. So you're swinging and missing. And then they all get to go 20 times again, and then they go 20 times again, over and over again. The solution is, well, to have a spell book. And you go back down here to the first level, and there's a very simple spell. These insects are very weak. It only takes a very small amount of damage to kill them. It's just that they're hard to hit. Well, I have a spell that will hit them every time. Harm. That's one less insect to worry about. Now we're gonna have to sit through these them being grazed again. Luckily, these insects don't actually do any damage to you. It's very rare that they can actually hurt you in any particular way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start the combat. I will allow my enemies to try to attack some of them, because you never know, they might get lucky. Meanwhile, the Avatar is going to help by casting harm on all the ones that he can. And I'm going to go ahead and take out a lot of the ones that are far away so that my party can focus on the Reaper and start heading over in this direction. And oh no, the Avatar has been charmed. That's a problem because the Avatar is the only one who, well, has the ability to uncharm people. That's a bit of a conundrum, actually. Let's break off combat. That should allow the Avatar to actually, well, not be attacking everyone. Let's give the Avatar back his halberd. And well, I'm going to quickly go ahead and start attacking this Reaper directly, so that it can't summon any more insects or continue to charm the Avatar. But you can see how frustrating Reapers can be. And every time I miss the Reaper, I have to sit through another round of these insects attacking me. And the Reaper's been killed. Okay, our next step, if we'll wait just a moment here for this to finish going through its things. Now, unfortunately, our only spellcaster right now is incapacitated, but what we can do is look at our different characters who have the ability to cast spells, such as, say, Shamino. Dupre can't. Yolo can cast some minimal stuff. Really, Shamino's our best bet. He has the highest number of magic points of anybody other than the Avatar. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go ahead and hand the spellbook to Shamino. Unfortunately, Shamino is very full of other items, so let's move this bag to somebody. Let's see who can carry it. Leodon can carry it. Unfortunately, that takes a turn, so we'll have to wait just a moment. Then we're going to go ahead and move the spellbook over to Shamino. And he still can't carry it. It's still too heavy. How about if we move this food over to somebody else? That's the problem right now. We've run into a situation where our characters are just so encumbered that nobody can carry anything. Once again, we're going to have to drop off all of this extra money. Now what Santre can do is he can go ahead and drop the skiff. I guess you can only drop it where there's water. Fine, we'll just drop the money. That allows Shamino to move this stuff over to him. Sorry. At this point, we're just going to start dropping items because we're getting desperate here, and we just need to have the carrying capacity. We can reorganize our inventory after we've survived this battle. Alright, Shamino can now carry the spell book, but he also needs the reagents to cast the spells. Now let's see if the entire bag can be held. It can be, good. Alright, now it's Shamino's turn to go ahead and cast some spells. He's going to quickly cast Dispel Magic on the Avatar. And success. Let's quickly move the spellbook back to the Avatar, and wait while the insects attack us all again. Move the reagents back to the Avatar. Activate party mode, and begin combat. Alright, now once again the Avatar is going to continue casting the Harm spell on every insect he sees. But this time the party will continue to help in the attacks, but this time won't be directly targeting the Avatar because he's not charmed anymore. And I just noticed that there is another Reaper nearby, coming on screen even as we speak. It's time to bring out the big guns here. Now the Avatar is, if you look, level 6. Let's see what we have in the 6th circle. Flame Wind. Let's go ahead and cast that on this Reaper. It only lightly wounded the Reaper, a little less than I was hoping for, but all the insects are dead. Let's bring the battle to this monstrosity. And it's dead, and we are finally through that battle. Alright, let's go ahead and try to reorganize ourselves here. So I was hoping to be able to demonstrate to you just why Reapers are frustrating, and it looks like I was successful. as you can see, and there's some more insects. As we see, they're incredibly hard to hit sometimes. Which is why I've so often resort to just casting Harm on them. It uses reagents, but it is so much more effective than sitting there and swinging and missing over and over and over again while you have to wait 10 to 20 seconds between each combat just to hope to hit the dang things. Alright, there's one last Reaper. Let's try to take him out and see if we're successful. And it's actually fleeing because we did enough damage. And it is dead. And so are the insects. Alright, before we quit here, let's just quickly run into this little chamber here. Look around. Once again, we're facing some more of these sea serpents. 3 of them, in fact. At this point, I think the Avatar is a little sick and tired of having to deal with this nonsense. Let's allow the combined might of our party to deal with this nonsense here. And that's 2 sea serpents killed. 1 remains. quickly go ahead and drop the boat. We'll cross over. One thing you might have also noticed during that battle while we were fighting those Reapers, you know, I was trying to drop different items and I was clicking on the wrong things. It's very easy to get flustered when you've got, you know, all these insects going 50 times before you get to go even once. The game is very good at frustrating you in that way by making you just really get flustered and frustrated while you're trying to deal with these problems. But either way, we made it through. We were successful. Our party is wounded, tried and tempered, but we survived. That, my friends, is a swamp cave. Let's quickly head back to the surface. We're not going to go ahead and take the long way around. We have the Orb of the Moons. And once again, we're going to place it one step to the north and head directly for Lord Burnish's castle. Now, once again, Lord Burnish is nowhere to be found because I believe it's nighttime. And yes, he's asleep. So once again, the Avatar shows up and rudely awakens the monarch of the realm. For some nighttime healing. There we go. So we've got several characters ready to level up, and before we quit for today, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at our characters here. The Avatar is well on his way to level 7. Not quite there, he's got another 1,000 or so to go, but he's well on his way. However, Dupre is ready for level 6, as is Shamino. Wow, Shamino went over 2,000 at that point, as is Yolo. Leona is ready for level 4. Santre is very close, but not quite to level 5, so we'll have to hold off on him. But again, Liadon is also ready for level 4. So, looking at our characters, Dupre is almost maxed out on strength. We don't need any more strength for him, and he does not cast spells. Let's increase his dexterity. Shamino, let's go ahead and max out his dexterity as well. We're going to go ahead and do dexterity to him. Yolo, we're going to do strength. Leona could use dexterity. Santre could use, he's not ready to level up. And so could Liadon. Although Liadon is using a two-handed sword, which I believe uses strength more than anything else, so she's going to be strength as well. So Liadon's going to be strength, and Yolo is going to be strength. Everybody else is going to be dexterity. So let's quickly head for the Shrine of Valor first. As you may remember, the Shrine of Valor is located 2 spaces to the east and 1 to the north of the Avatar. And as you may also remember, the mantra of Valor is Ra. So let's quickly just double check our characters here. We wanted Yolo to get strength, and Liadon to get strength. So, Yolo will say the mantra of Valor as Ra, and has gained a level and strength. And we will also go ahead and meditate for Liadon, who will also say the mantra, and gain a level and strength. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and head out to the Shrine of Compassion. Once again, we're going to use the Orb of the Moons. This time we're going to place it 2 spaces to the north and 1 to the east. And we're going to go ahead and give Shamino some dexterity to max him out. And Dupre as well. Dupre, Shamino, and Leona could all use dexterity. And as we remember, the mantra of compassion is Mu. Dupre has gained dexterity. Shamino is about to. Oh, hang on, I think I used the wrong... There we go. I think I must have typed the wrong mantra there. And finally, Leona. There we go. The final thing we're going to do before we quit for the day, let's quickly head back to Lord British's castle. Hopefully he's still awake. Yes, he's still awake in his bed there. We'll heal our party one last time. And now, Attentive, Dupre, Chamino, and Yolo all have 180 hit points. Leona, Santre, and Leodon all have 120 max hit points. We are well on our way to becoming strong enough to fight those dragons. But we're not quite there yet. And I have one more dungeon that I'd like to take you all on, which will level us up just a little bit more before we go into Dungeon Destard. And we will go in that dungeon next time. In our next episode, we're heading into the Dungeon Despise. I'll see you then.